Ballad and the Dread Summer Session Podcast Party July 21st at Ital Kitchen 1032 Union Street, Brooklyn. Make sure you're there, you know. Roots and culture, vibes, reasoning, every single thing, positive energy, chat forward. Atachi said that red room there, the Naga East Pandem, you know.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain.
Fire, what you saying?
Yes, sir. Give thanks to life, you know?
Serious thing with the drip with the nice shirt, right? We are here again, Baldhead and the Drip, giving thanks for the ability to give thanks. Have to remind the people, do remember all about Sunday, July 21st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Baldhead and the Dread Roots Rockers Reggae Summer Session with yours truly, the Baldhead, alongside the Dread on the 1 and 2s at Ital Kitchen at 1032 Union Street, Brooklyn, NYC. Entry free, Heart of Love. Make sure you pass through. Special guests have to be there to see who. Fire, what we're reason about today?
Yeah, today we are reason about black men and mental health. And we are talking about certain stressors will lead towards that the same way. I know they have some statistics too.
No,
I'd love to start it off the way then.
Serious thing. We had a reasoning previously about the health of the brothers. And we wanted to add on and really focus on tactics to reduce stress. But before we do, we wanted to touch on this topic. Many brothers can relate because many brothers have it, right? So according to the Journal of American Heart Association, 75% of African American men will have high blood pressure by the age 55, right? With the blood pressure vibe, I can say, you remember I told you my blood pressure went up and all that at one time? And what I realized is that when we talk about blood pressure, majority, 99% of the conversation is put on eating habits, right? If I was eating everything good, drinking roots, working out, and my blood pressure still went up, right? And what I found is that the way that I got it down is that I had to implement tactics or practices to reduce the stress. And I can only talk about my personal experience, but I think for a lot of brothers, yes, diet is. Some brothers need to lose weight and get their diet together, right? But along with that, we need to learn skills to manage stress. And I think that's a key component. We need to have a massive movement of teaching brothers how to manage stress. Because the average brother is so stressed out beyond belief. And I'm not a medical physician, and I'm speaking on my own personal experience, how I've been able to keep things at bay. But I think is that they don't have any skills in their toolbox to manage stress.
Yeah, because historically, black men are known to kind of be tough. Facts. And that's something where I feel like until we truly understand what it means to be tough.
Facts.
Then we would start to think about our mental health as the most important thing.
Facts.
Because people always talk about like stress from different angles and don't understand this. Black men are stressed
out, fire.
Out of this world,
stressed out their mind, yeah.
And that is a crazy phenomenon until we really start digging into what caused these things and the fact that we have to address it. Because you see, if we don't address it, then we are going to have some bottled up type of thoughts in our head, and there will be no form of clarity added to our minds to move forward.
You have to stop being jealous of other people, fire.
You know, that is one of the biggest
fire, right? Because what I've been observing is that this jealousy men have of other people, fire, is making them sick. And as black men collectively, I'm not talking about no other groups. I'm not saying jealousy don't exist in other groups. I'm not talking about no other. I'm talking about black men, fire. We have a huge issue with being happy for the success of another person. And when you sit in that jealous state, minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, talking about that person or thinking about certain things, you are stressing yourself out. And I was talking to Umar, and I remember Priest Kalish when we were in Ghana, we had a big conversation about this, but everyone talks about rites of passage and all this. And I feel that like if we were to have a program, I feel one of the key criteria of manhood is being happy for another's success.
It's Straight.
I think if you haven't reached that level yet, you're not fully a man.
Yeah, still immaturity levels. Okay, it's maturity. It's true maturity if you know that somebody is winning and you feel good about somebody winning, and it not have nothing to do
don't
with
understand.
you.
Don't take away from and
I don't take away from
don't take away from you,
your
Fire.
being. In fact, it strengthens your being because motivation is a thing that plays two way. You motivate others, others motivate you. And you see, the minute you learn that as a man, it's almost like from that time onwards, nothing else bothers you to that extent. Yeah, you're a human. You get dented by particular things, but once you go into that same meditation and self-reflection, you get to understand that, this thing bigger than me. Why was I making the situation all about me when the mission itself is bigger than me? And I'm a vessel within this mission. And being the vessel within this mission, I have a very important part to play. Just as that person who is achieving all of those other things, they have a part to play too.
Big time. I think the amount of time that is spent talking about people or hating, I don't like that word, but hating, people don't quant a lot of time is spent, Fire, like really just
I talk about people just
talk, you know what I'm saying? Like nonstop. And it's like it's a bitterness in your heart that goes into your body and impacts your cellular structure, Fire.
Mm-hmm.
It just throw off here because it's not a good vibration.
Don't go sleep, I think, about that, man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just and two now. The next part now, you end up stressing yourself out more because the work that you're supposed to be doing on yourself, you're not doing.
You're not doing
because you just spent all this time focusing on another person, and it's like it's a snowball effect. So like jealousy, look into yourself. Those listening, some people may laugh when they hear this because it's them, but really, you got to look into that fight and ask yourself: am I stressing myself out being jealous of another person? Am I adding stress to my life being jealous of another person, having someone to talk to, right? So when you say therapist, I don't think you necessarily need a therapist. Sometimes you just need an unbiased listening ear. Unfortunately, a lot of brothers don't have any friends or anyone to talk to, which is a shocker. And I'll say this again, they may chill with a lot of people, but they don't have anyone to talk
friends
to.
Are a few.
Or anyone to confide in, right? So to the brothers listening, I highly recommend, if you don't have a trusted person, an elder, somebody you could talk to, you need to find one. If not, you may have to hop on and find, to find one decent therapist, because what happens is when you don't have someone to speak with, the ideas in your head get muddled, Fire, because you're only looking at it from your perspective. You get what I'm saying? And plus, you're not verbally expressing
it. Yeah.
So you may be ideating, as my man Judge Brown always says. I don't know what that word made me laugh so much, but you may just be replaying certain ideas from a totally wrong perspective. And if you were to verbalize that or express it to someone else just by expressing it, I don't know the science behind it, but sometimes just saying things gives you a different perspective on the whole situation and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be on that type of vibe, you know? So the first tactic I really recommend for brothers to do is find someone to talk to, an elder. I think elders are very good at that if you can find a trusted one. If not, you're going to have to hop on the therapy thing, you know?
Yeah, because that is the thing now, and I feel like the disconnection between the generations is a next problem that is leading towards so much stress, because the concept of a elder, a lot of youths don't even have that. Like, you know, I'd feel like when me can pick up my phone and call my friend who are 87. I'm 87 and I say, Larry, Wagwan. All right. All right. Any elder and just I blink Jeremiah Wagwan. Any man will link Wagwan. And then Monday's like, the man could have been my father. Man could have been my grandfather. And I feel like that concept of the community is missing amongst black men in particular.
I have to say this. I am talking from a biased statement because I have an amazing support system, whether it's elders or friends. But I do recommend for the younger people to look out for elders. I think too many times we close ourselves out. We're not open to speaking with anyone. In your circle, you may not have an elder, but there are many elders out there if you really reached out and build those relationships.
And vice versa.
And vice versa does need to link the youths, right? Another tactic I highly recommend is meditation, right? Since I implemented the meditation, it's been a game changer. And, you know, I'm not no meditation master or anything, but what I do realize, there are different forms of meditation. You don't just have to sit there being quiet. You know, I don't know if the proper term is active meditation, but I just call it active meditation, right? But you basically just need to do something to focus your mind or quiet your mind.
It's quiet time, man.
You know, because listening to music could be a form of meditation. I don't know about songs with lyrics.
Lyrics, yeah.
But
Instrumentals.
instrumentals could definitely be a form of meditation. Walking, cooking. If you have a hobby, we recommend the brothers to get the hobbies. But you need to do something to
make it feel nice
and put you
feel
present.
good.
Fire. That's the main thing, to be present. So you're not in the future. You're not in the past. You're present for a duration of time, and that'll calm everything down, right? Stretching Far Eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get your stretching game in there. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to stretch because you don't know how tense you are from the stress. And I'm not talking about no little warm up. I guess I don't want to say yoga fully because you don't have to do yoga, but you can pirate some of the stances from yoga, but you definitely should throw in a little stretching into the mix.
Stretching don't need no explanation beyond that, because you see the thing is, enough people don't understand movement is magic.
Yeah.
And movement have the brain too.
I like that. And movement is magic.
And you see, as people, we need to understand this, especially as men, because men are always built up on a testosterone is connected to aggression. Yeah. And you see, because of this whole aggressive thing, any form of calmness, it almost seems unnatural to most of the brothers them. So and that is the whole thing. Being calm, understanding the duality that's within you. And you see, the moment you understand that there is duality within you, to stop for a second or a minute and really adjust yourself towards, as they say, the present time. What is going on around me? What am I doing? Self-reflecting. And sometimes you not even have to talk. Just silence and listening around it. That's why I always, you mentioned the music and meditation. If you're meditating with music, I always advise people to meditate towards earth tone sounds. Yeah. So more earth sounds, certain types of percussions and different
harps
things.
And all them vibes and that
harps and all of these different things that can connect it to our root. Because you see, most time the chakra, when we think about chakra, the first chakra, which is the root chakra, its chakra root is blocked by fear. Yeah. And sometimes because we fear certain things that we never get for express, we fear even expressing it. Right. So is the chakra get blocked and there is no adjustment going up. Yeah. So that's what we need for clear out. So even the earth tones from certain instrument, it can make it gravitate and go outside to and feel a type of bond with the earth to as a brother to and catch yourself.
There's another thing you touched on earlier I want to elaborate on is fear. I think brothers need to write down their fears, yo.
Yep.
I think a lot of this temper tantrums and explosions and all that is the source of fear. And if I'm being truthful, I think a lot of my aggression younger on was due to fears that I had, and it come out in different ways. But I think the source of that aggression was fear. If I'm being truthful with myself,
Straight.
And I think that when you write down your fears, you acknowledge them, and just quiet yourself and get down to the source of it. And the reality of it, is it something that's just like a past event that's like stunting you? Is this a real fear? Is this something you're just making up? Or is this something you're just concerned about that's going to happen in the future? And you have to acknowledge it and at the same time come back to the presence. I think we mess up where we try to deny, like we're not afraid. I think the silliest thing where people say like they're not scared of anything. It's just, you're scared of stuff. It's your relationship with the fear and how you process it. But we all have fears. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I don't fear nothing. Like, all right, whatever. So you need to write down your fears and I tie that into journaling. A lot of these things we mentioned, Fire Eye, is like, they don't have to be complicated. I think when we say meditation, journaling, it's all like, tell a man to meditate, figure out he need a shrine. Maybe, no, Fire, just be quiet. Get a little quiet time. Journaling, sit down in a quiet spot, Fire. Whatever comes to your mind, just write it down. That's it. Just write it down, Fire, and be present and whatever come out, write it down, look at it and say, yo, that's how I was really feeling. It is what it is, and see what's what,
Yo, there is something a while ago, and it's very funny because this song we have called Pumps and Pride, a very, very interesting song. It's a song we're close to my heart for a particular reason, right? Because when I sit down in the car, I think about like, what are my fears? And we have so much things so much thoughts are come to our brain, and we have said to ourselves, but really and truly, am I really, what am I really afraid of? And then we start, all of a sudden, I feel a burden, like a heavy, heavy burden from my shoulder. I'm going to feel tired and weary. No, serious thought. I feel tired and weary, and I wonder, so wait. And it's like, I saw the line come to me when I say, even through the storm, I don't get weary. So I just close my eye and it's like, and the same thing, some of just start write down some things. Yeah. And but me go the extreme. One day, I just write down the thing, and I just get a lighter and I just spark the paper and light it and I say I burn all of my fears them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's like the burden when I feel on my shoulder, it just gone. Like it's almost like it gone. I don't know how it come into play. I stress that.
And there's a key action. I hope people listen to this because they probably think about the burning. And the key action is the acknowledgement.
Yeah.
The acknowledgement of the fear. You get what I'm saying? Getting down to the source of it and seeing how we're going to make this thing work.
Yeah.
You know? What's the other aspect I want to throw in there for the brothers too, man? Another tactic is that, another tactic. You have to remove yourself from around certain people. Certain people around stressing you out, right? So it's like certain places that you chill. I don't know. I hear people say like they're around a certain person, the person stressing them out, but they continue to be around the person. And like some relationships you got cut off. Or some relationships we have to work on and have a conversation to let them know, say, yo, fire, certain things can't work and certain ideas can't work. And if it can't be modified, you have to remove, excuse me, you have to remove yourself from the environment. If you have family life could be very stressful. You need quiet time. You need to like work out a schedule where you can get some quiet time, not to do something else stressing yourself out, but to do something to, cool down the pressure. You know, but I just think that, man, like for the men, as I stated before, the narrative is just, the food. Obviously, we speak about food all the time. You can listen to another thing for the food. You definitely have to be militant and changing your eating habits and stick with it, having a workout schedule. But the things I spoke about are mental things that really add pressure to it. Also, your spending habits and your finances. Sometimes you put yourself in a bind with the masquerade party and you're spending more than you have, and that could be very stressful,
All right. You said that, and here's the funny thing. And I really want most any male listening to this want to answer this one question. Most males like to classify themselves as being providers.
Yeah.
What are you providing?
Facts.
Like, what are you really providing? Can you be mentally unstable and provide sustainable things for your family, or sustainable things for yourself? Like, think about it. If you're a provider needs to be fed too. So what are you even feeding yourself mentally in order to provide? And that is something where most males don't even think about from the get-go, because we talk about people and the concept of jealousy and all of these things. We need to learn to deal with people accordingly.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to deal with people accordingly, because if we don't learn how to deal with people accordingly, then that's when people start taking advantage of you. You're there too close. They get too close to you. They know your intentions. They can see your visions. They try to intercept your visions. Not that some of them will be successful at all, but you can at least minimize the amount of bad energy that come around your farm of vision and try to crowd your vision. Because if you have a vision, you need to be steadfast on that vision. You don't need distractions coming up. Life already presents natural distractions. Yeah. So imagine the added artificial distractions within your circle too. You know how that play up on the brain? We have to start thinking about that.
And the brothers too, they need to modify their consumption of entertainment. Mm-hmm. You need to be more aware of how the system works. And the better you are of understanding how the system works, the better you can navigate it. I think too many times we're just ignorant to how things work out here and the harsh realities of our environment, and we get caught up in it. So you really need to educate yourself. So some of your time needs to be swapped off from watching certain things and watch other things that are more enlightening, and reading. You need to read. And if you struggle with reading, you need to just humble yourself and learn how to read. I think too many men miss out on information because they struggle with reading. They feel ashamed of it and they just swallow. No, you need to embrace it. It is what it is. You're not the first and you won't be the last. So if you struggle with reading, there are unlimited amount of resources there for you to get up to speed, and you really need to get on top of this reading, because if you can't read, your access to information is limited to your peers and what media you watch. And that's not necessarily a good thing, because all those things, you know what I'm saying? All those things have an intention with it and a limitation to it. So you definitely need to get up on the reading. And I just feel that, man, you need to analyze your life. You need to be patient with yourself, but you need to be proactive in the sense of getting yourself healthy on a holistic level. Because I think too many times we compartmentalize health. So a man may go to the gym and his body may be healthy to a certain standard, but everything is wrecked.
Wrong.
Can't work, like everything, you have to work on everything in a balanced approach to have a holistic health. And that's what we're dealing with right now for the men, holistic health, because your quality of life will be better and the quality of life around those will be better. And if you really get on your grind, your blood pressure will be down. So you don't have to be at the 75% with the hypertension, and you can modify or lower the risk of you experiencing things that you don't want to experience and you don't have to experience. So
and we can't talk about mental health and black men, and we don't talk about one of the major things outside of even the jealousy that's causing the mental health of black men. All of these fast girls or the man them, I get themselves involved with
stress them out. That's the next topic still fight. That's the next it's the next podcast. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, crazy.
Fire, how much time we have? Cool. Listen, you see the women that the women that you choose, Fire, is the next thing that send your pressure way through the roof, because every skirt where walk past the man, them supposed to know this, because you see the meditation is like the man, the meditation get block right there. And somebody who them actually have some potential and can make some things happen, but you see the mental health now, it start deteriorate because of the demands to where them are even not get. Demands and the pressure, and this could go for women too. Cause I know someone say, "Oh, the women Fire." Mm-hmm. This could go for women too. We talking about the men, but it's like, man, you're right. Cause some of these men under some pressure, and that's why a lot of men in criminal activity too, Fire, because the job that they have doesn't earn enough for this lady's maintenance. Yes. They find themselves doing stuff, and the coldest part when they pop down, Fire, she right off to the next person.
Next to the next
flop
one,
out his life, yeah. That's
highest bidder wins.
That's the coldest part of the game, and I'm glad you brought that up. That seems like a whole different podcast, but you have to be very strategic of the lady in your life. You notice I didn't say ladies. That's the next stress. People, they are trying to do too much out there, Fire, flopping out themselves, So the lady in your life, I feel this episode, you need to haul and pull it and listen to it again.
Yeah, man, life teaching, man.
And take time to implement it piece by piece. Now, don't jump out there and try to change everything one time. I think for a duration, a month, 2-3 months, you focus on one aspect and add when possible. But also the main factor is the food, obviously. But you need to implement these things and fill up your toolbox with things that you can process things, so you can just be more peaceful, more healthier, and just a better person overall,
Parley Than the Dread Summer Session Podcast Party, July 21st at Ital Kitchen, 1032 Union Street, Brooklyn. Make sure you're there, Roots and culture, vibes, reasoning, every single thing, positive energy, chat forward. Atachi said that red room there, the Naga East Pandem,